Okay, for today, we're going to have a comprehensive presentation from the 10th edition of Human Resource Management textbook by Robert Mathis and John Jackson, covering Chapter 2 on strategic human resource management. So it outlines the importance of HR is a core competency that provides competitive advantage by enhancing organizational culture, productivity, and quality of products and services. So the presentation explains HR planning as a strategic process to forecast and manage the supply and demand of HR aligned with organizational goals. So we're going to discuss also environmental scanning, internal workforce assessment, and various forecasting methods, including judgmental and mathematical techniques for anticipating future HR needs. Because we are also going to address managing HR surpluses and shortages through workforce realignment, strategies like layoffs, early retirement buyouts, and hiring freezes, while emphasizing the importance of communication and support for displaced employees throughout placement services. So, we are going to highlight the evaluation of HR effectiveness via audits and benchmarking, focusing on key metrics such as turnover, costs, and compensation. Additionally, we're going to introduce HRIS, or Human Resource Information Systems, as critical tools for improving HR decision making, operational efficiency, and strategic planning by organizing and utilizing HR data. Okay, these are our learning objectives. Okay, strategic human resource management involves the deliberate use of employees by an organization to achieve and sustain a competitive advantage over its rivals. This means aligning HR policies and practices with the company's strategic goals to ensure that the workforce contributes effectively to business success. For example, a technology firm may use SHRM by recruiting highly skilled software engineers and investing in continuous training programs to innovate faster than competitors, thereby securing a stronger market position. A core competency is a distinctive strength or capability within an organization that creates significant value and sets it apart from competitors. It is something that organization does exceptionally well, which competitors find difficult to imitate. For instance, Apple's core competency lies in its innovative product design and user-friendly interfaces, which differentiate its products from others and command customer loyalty. So this unique capability helps the company maintain high profitability and brand prestige. Okay, possible HR areas for core competencies. First is innovation. The organization's ability to develop new ideas, products, or processes, often driven by employee creativity and continuous learning. HR supports this by recruiting innovative talent and fostering a culture that encourages experimentation and risk taking. Outstanding service, delivering superior customer service through employee behaviors and attitudes that exceed customer expectations. So HR enhances this by training employees in customer relations and setting service excellence as a key performance goal. Unusual quality, producing products or services with exceptional standards that differentiate the company from the competitors. HR contributes by hiring skilled workers, enforcing quality focused training, and maintaining high performance standards. We have discussed productivity last meeting, achieving a high level of output with efficient use of resources, including employee time and skills. So HR improves productivity through workforce planning, performance management, and incentive programs that motivate employees to work efficiently. And special skills, possession of unique employee capabilities, such as technical expertise or specialized knowledge that add value and give the organization a competitive edge. So the HR ensures development and retention of these skills by providing targeted training and career advancement opportunities. HR based core competencies. Okay, we discussed that. Based on the HRM content of the book that I have read, customer service dimensions typically include physical facilities and equipment, the quality, cleanliness, and accessibility of the organization's physical environment and tools used to serve customers. They are well maintained facilities that contribute positively to customer perception. Care and concern, the attentiveness and empathy that employees show toward customers, reflecting genuine interest in meeting customer needs and resolving issues. Dependable and accurate performance, consistency in delivering service reliably and correctly, ensuring customers receive what is promised without errors or delays. Employee knowledge and evidence, the employee's understanding of products, services, and policies, as well as their ability to demonstrate this knowledge confidently to assist customers effectively. Factors that determine HR plans would include strategy of the organization. The overall business strategy shapes HR plans by defining the types and quantities of human resources needed to achieve long term goals. For example, a growth strategy may require aggressive talent acquisition, while a cost cutting strategy may focus on workforce reduction. Culture, the shared values, beliefs, and behaviors influence HR policies and practices, such as how employees are recruited, trained, and retained, ensuring alignment with the organizational environment and enhancing employee engagement. Competitive financial environment, the economic conditions, and competitive landscape affect HR planning by influencing budget availability. So labor market dynamics also is included in how organization positions itself to attract and keep talent amidst competition and financial pressures. Current organizational situation, internal factors like workforce size, employee skills, financial health, and operational challenges determine immediate HR needs and adjustments, guiding decisions on recruitment, development, promotions, or layoffs to meet present demands effectively. In HRM, cost leadership focuses on minimizing HR related costs to support an organization's overall strategy that offers products and services at a lowest price. So, this approach emphasizes efficient workforce management, controlling compensation and benefits expenses, streamlining HR processes, and maintaining labor productivity to reduce total employment costs. On the other hand, differentiation in HRM aims to develop unique employee capabilities, skills, and organizational culture that create distinct value and competitive advantage. So this involves investing in employee development, attracting and retaining top talent, fostering innovation, and promoting high quality service or product delivery that differentiates the company from competitors. Okay, examples of HR planning would include a manufacturing company analyzing future production demands and identifying the need to hire additional machine operators with specific technical skills to meet increased output targets. So, another example, a tech firm forecasting the retirement of key software developers in 5 years and planning recruitment and training programs to ensure a continuous talent pipeline. For HR planning responsibilities, let's say the chief HR officer collaborating with department heads to gather data on upcoming projects, employee turnover rates, and skills gaps to create workforce forecasts. HR managers working with sales and marketing managers to understand business expansion plans and developing HR projections to support hiring and training aligned with those goals. An HR unit is a specialized division within an organization responsible for managing human resource functions such as recruitment, training, employee relations, compensation, and compliance. It ensures that the organization has the right people, skills, and workplace environment to meet its objectives. Managers are individuals in the organization who supervise and coordinate the work of employees or teams. They play a key role in implementing HR policies, making staffing decisions, and ensuring that organizational goals are met through effective people management. In the Philippines, attracting and retaining qualified outsiders, let's say a small manufacturing firm in Cebu, struggles to attract skilled machine operators due to competition from larger firms and overseas job offers. To retain, the firm introduces local training programs and offers family friendly benefits such as flexible work hours. Okay, a management succession between generations of owners. A family owned sari sari store, for example, in a Filipino community, plans the transition of management from the founding couple to their children. Challenges include preparing the next generation with adequate business and financial skills while balancing family expectations. Evolution of HR activities as business grows. Let's say a start-up food delivery business in Metro Manila starts with an informal hiring, but as it expands, develops formal recruitment processes. Also, they can implement employee performance evaluation and sets up health and safety protocols to comply with Philippine labor laws. Family relationship and HR policies. A small Philippine resort owned by a family employs relatives and outsiders. So, to handle potential conflicts and favoritism, the business establishes transparent HR policies on work hours, compensation, and promotions that apply equally to family and non family employees. The HR planning process involves systematically anticipating and managing the supply and demand for human resources to align with organizational goals. It starts with an overall strategic plan, followed by the development of a human resource strategic plan that guides specific HR activities. So, this process includes analyzing current workforce capabilities, forecasting future HR needs using both judgmental and mathematical methods, and developing HR strategies to address any gaps. The process emphasizes collaboration between top HR executives and line managers to gather necessary data, ensuring that HR projections support business objectives. The HR planning cycle also involves environmental scanning to identify external opportunities and threats, internal assessments of jobs and skills, and continuous adjustments of strategies as business conditions change from time to time, of course. Effective HR planning leads to better recruitment, cost management, workforce diversity, and talent development. An example of HR strategies is a retail company anticipating a surge in holiday season sales. So, to manage the increased demand for human resources, the HR department develops a strategy to hire temporary staff, implement fast track training programs, and adjust work schedules to ensure adequate staffing. So, this strategy provides overall direction by aligning recruitment, training, and scheduling activities to meet business needs so that they can efficiently address this during peak periods. Better HR planning provides a clearer understanding of how human resource factors influence overall business decisions, enabling leaders to align workforce capabilities with organizational goals. It helps optimize resource use and improve decision making related to staffing, training, and development. Lower HR costs result from more efficient HR management practices, such as minimizing turnover, improving recruitment processes, and streamlining administrative tasks, which collectively reduce expenses related to hiring, training, and employee separation. More timely recruitment, ensures that the organization can meet its human resource needs promptly, preventing talent shortages and enabling smooth operations during growth or change, thus supporting business continuity. Increased inclusion of protected groups fosters workforce diversity, which enhances creativity, innovation, and compliance with legal requirements of the law. Lastly, better development of managerial talent strengthens leadership pipelines by systematically preparing current and future managers with necessary skills, improving organizational performance and succession effectiveness. Okay, what is environmental scanning? This is the process through which an organization systematically studies its external and internal environments to identify opportunities and threats that can affect its human resource needs and strategies. So, this helps in proactive planning and aligning HR practices with changing conditions. One moment. Okay. Environmental changes impacting HR would include first, of course, governmental regulations. These are the laws and policies on labor standards, employment practices, and workplace safety that affect HR compliance and operations. Next is economic conditions. Factors like inflation, unemployment rates, and economic growth that influence labor supply, wages, and hiring decisions. Next is geographic and competitive concerns. These are location specific issues such as labor market availability, regional economic trends, and competition for talent from other organizations. Workforce composition, demographic changes, diversity trends, and shifts in employee skills and expectations that impact recruitment, retention, and HR strategies. Auditing jobs and skills is a critical HR process that involves a systematic review to understand the current workforce composition and prepare for future needs. The first question, this step identifies all current job roles within the organization. Next question, it assesses workforce distribution by counting employees in each role. How essential? Okay, the importance of each job is evaluated to determine its impact on organizational goals. Jobs needed to implement. Okay, this anticipates new or evolving roles required to support growth and change. And lastly, the characteristics, it defines the skills, qualifications, and responsibilities that future jobs will demand to ensure alignment with strategic objectives. The organizational capabilities inventory is a comprehensive collection of data, often maintained through HRIS databases that provides detailed information about employees' knowledge, skills, and abilities, or KSAs. So this inventory helps organization understand their current workforce capabilities and plan for future needs. So key components would include workforce and individual demographics, data on age, gender, education, and other characteristics that help analyze workforce diversity and planning. Employees' career progression, these are records of promotions, transfers, training, and development activities that track employee growth and readiness for new roles, and individual job performance data. So, evaluations and metrics assessing how well employees perform their recruitment responsibilities, supporting decisions on training, rewards, and also succession planning. Forecasting in HRM is the process of using historical and current data to predict future human resource needs. This helps organizations prepare for changes in workforce demand and supply. These are some of the forecasting methods. Judgmental relies on human intuition and experience. For example, estimates. Managers provide opinions on future needs either from top down or executive driven or bottom up. These are input from lower levels approaches. Rules of thumb, using general guidelines based on past experience to make forecasts. Delphi technique, a panel of experts provides forecasts anonymously over several rounds to reach a converging opinion. And nominal groups, a structured group discussion where participants openly discuss and agree on forecasts collectively. Mathematical forecasting methods use quantitative data and statistical techniques to predict future needs. Example, statistical regression analysis examines relationship between variables, for example, sales volume and workforce size, to forecast staffing requirements based on historical trends. Simulation models use computer based scenarios to mimic real world conditions and assess how changes impact HR needs. Productivity ratios calculate units produced per employee to estimate workforce size that is needed to meet production targets. Staffing ratios estimate the number of support or indirect labor employees required relative to direct labor or operational metrics. Forecasting periods indicate the time frame for predictions. A short-term forecast covering less than 1 year. This is useful for immediate staffing adjustments. Intermediate up to 5 years, supporting medium-range HR planning aligned with strategic goals. And long range, this is more than 5 years, aiding long-term workforce development and succession planning. Mathematical forecasting methods use quantitative data and statistical techniques to predict future HR needs, while judgmental methods rely on human intuition, expert opinions, and consensus approaches to estimate workforce requirements. Forecasting the demand for human resources, okay, it means estimating how many employees overall the organization will need, then breaking that down by specific skills and job types. So it involves setting guidelines for how many positions should be filled from inside, and then how many from outside. We are also considering how promotions and transfers affect these numbers. Forecasting the supply for human resources looks at where employees will come from, both from outside the organization, this is external supply, and from current employees available for development or promotion, this is internal supply. Forecasting external HR supply involves predicting the availability of workers outside the organization based on factors such as people moving into or out of the area. We call it net migration. Workers entering or leaving the labor market. Number of graduates from educational institutions. Changes in workforce makeup and work habits. Economic trends and predictions. Advances in technology affecting jobs. Hiring activities of competing companies. Government laws and policies affecting employment, and other external influences on the labor markets. Forecasting internal HR supply involves predicting the availability of current employees to fulfill future positions by considering factors such as promotions, lateral moves, and terminations that affect workforce continuity. Succession analysis is the process of identifying and preparing employees to replace key roles when vacancies occur. Replacement charts visually map current employees against potential successors for critical positions, and transition matrix or the Markov matrix is a statistical tool showing probabilities of employees moving between different jobs, helping forecast internal labor supply dynamics. Okay, the equivalent of WARN Act in the Philippines is covered under the Labor Code, particularly articles related to termination and retrenchment along the with the regulations of the Department of Labor and Employment. So key equivalent of WARN include mandatory notice. In the Philippines, employers must provide a written 30-day advance notice or salary in lieu of notice to affected employees and the DOLE before any retrenchment, mass layoff, or company closure. Coverage, the notice applies to regular employees but generally excludes casual, seasonal, or probationary workers. Notification to government employers must inform DOLE and the local government enabling assistance for displaced workers. Hardship clauses, employers can request exemption from notice requirements in cases of business necessity or force majeure. These are unforeseeable events subject to DOLE approval, and penalties. Failure to comply with these notice requirements may result in administrative sanctions and liabilities under the Philippine labor law. Workforce realignment means reducing the number of employees in a company through downsizing, right sizing, or reduction in force or RIF. So this usually happens because of economic reasons like lower demand for products or losing customers, or structural reasons such as new technology or company mergers and acquisitions. Positive consequences will include enhanced competitiveness and improved productivity as organization becomes learner and more focused. Okay, negative consequences involves loss of valuable HR resources, including specialized skills, experience, and capabilities for growth and innovation. Managing survivors means supporting remaining employees by clearly explaining the reasons for realignment, outlining future plans, and involving them actively in transition and regrouping efforts to maintain morale and engagement. Downsizing sizing approaches, attrition and hiring freezes. The organization reduces staff naturally by not replacing employees who leave and suspending new hires. Early retirement buyouts, offering financial incentives for senior employees to retire early, reducing workforce size voluntarily, and layoffs, temporarily placing employees on unpaid leave with the possibility of return, selecting who to lay off based on seniority, performance, or both. Downsizing of outplacement and services assist displaced employees by offering personal career counseling, help with resume writing and typing, interviewing workshops, job referral assistance, severance pay, continuation of medical benefits, and opportunities for job retraining to support their transition to new employment. Okay, from a Filipino perspective, dealing with downsizing requires sensitivity to cultural values such as close knit family ties, community, and respect for people. Okay, here are some. Investigate alternatives to downsizing, involve key people, development communication plans, nurture survivors, and outplacement base off. Okay, diagnostic measures of HR effectiveness are simple indicators used to evaluate how well the HR function performs, including how much is spent on HR per employee, the portion of total company expenses that goes to employee pay, the share of total expenses spent on the HR department, the cost involved in hiring new employees, the rate at which employees leave the company or turnover, the rate of employee absences, and the cost of workers' compensation claims per employee. So here is an example of the overview of the HR evaluation process. So an HR audit is a thorough checkup to see how well a company manages its people and follows labor laws, reflecting the Filipino values of fairness and respect for workers. These are the key areas to review. Okay, this process helps Filipino organizations ensure that they treat workers with justice and care, fostering harmony and trust in the workplace. HR research is the study of HR data to evaluate how well HR practices have worked in the past and present. Primary research collects new original data specifically for the current project. Secondary research uses existing data collected by others, such as reports, articles, or studies. So benchmarking means looking at how well a company performs in certain areas by comparing it with other successful organizations to learn and improve based on the best practices. We're going to discuss common benchmarking used in the next video.